Hey Tom, just getting started, so I just put scope in your knee, and there's lots of cartilage snowflakes floating around there, and that's kind of what we don't want to see, because that usually means that we're going to have a huge area of collapse of cartilage. What I'm going to do is put a little drain tube up in the top of your knee, and when we see a lot of loose pieces, we kind of want to wash them up to the top to the drain tube. So that's my little drain tube, and then we'll turn on the flow, and those guys will all get washed up there, and then we'll come back up to the top and start sucking them out. But that's a lot of debris floating around in your knee. This is where we're looking first, called the lateral gutter. And again, we want to wash all those guys up top. And then we'll come over here. This is the suprapatellar pouch, and then this is the patella. And your patella's not too bad looking. That's the lateral facet, central, and medial facet. We can smooth out that knee just a little bit to the right, but there's no bare bone in your kneecap, so that's good news. Then this is going to be where your patella rides on the femur. Best way to look at it is to kind of bend your knee, come down here, and then look up. So we're tracking to the left. If there's any divots in the cartilage, we'll see a hole in the cartilage, and that's really good cartilage. So then this is a medial gutter. That's called a medial synovial plica, and that's not supposed to be there. It's pretty beat up looking too. We're going to see if when you have a big plica like that, what I do is bend your knee to get underneath it and then come back like this. And then that's the medial gutter. And then we're going to drop into the medial compartment. Yeah, so that's where our bare bone is. It's on the tibia. And the meniscus is retorn. See where that tear is in the meniscus? So there's a little transition zone tear. Can I have 11? I'm going to make a little medial portal. There's a little meniscal tear right here. I'll have to come back to it after we wash out. But the problem is there's bare bone here and there's bare bone here. So there's bare bone in both areas. And that's kind of not our favorite thing, because a fracture chondroplasty won't work in bone against bone. It'll work, if there's bare bone on one side. So there's no great answer for the bare bone on the tibia. That's your anterior cruciate ligament. Geez, big horse stud of an anterior cruciate ligament. And then this is going to be the lateral side of your knee. I got it. And same thing, I'm going to run some fluid through. Lateral side's got some loose cartilage right here. Super tight. You can see that this side of your knee is way tighter than the medial side. And then there's a little bit of damage right here to the root of the meniscus. And what we'll do is we'll sneak in there with a shaver, do a little tiny bit of cleanup on that. On the meniscus right there. Shaver's a great way of just sucking out any loose pieces that are floating around too. Put in that little crevice right there. And I'm going to come back, look at that articular cartilage again. I want to go over to the medial side again now and run the shaver in the medial side. Figure out what we can do to make this better for you. Can I have a probe? You can see that crease that I'm talking about in the meniscus more clearly now too, now that we ran more fluid through. But so the issue with your knee is there's this, and if you look underneath it, it's got those shiny white crystals. So this is kind of retorn meniscus and chondrocalcinosis. This is a problem. This is bare bone. 4 millimeter probe, so 6 by 15. And nothing will heal here. There's, we don't fracture chondroplasty. Nothing really gets better if it's on the tibia. The other place where you have damage is on the femur right there. And a fracture chondroplasty would help with that, but when those two things are meeting each other, we got trouble. There's so much loose stuff in the top up here. I wanted to just sneak up here for a second and just take out the snowstorm. We're going to do this a couple times, but the more times I do, the more sure that I can be that I've completely moved out all these pieces. On the femur, I think I am going to do the fracture chondroplasty. You hold the shaver. And, problem is, it's either that or nothing. I mean, nothing else is going to work. And if we can get even a healing response just on the femur, I think we're better off than not. The other thing we could do would be like a partial medial knee replacement. Your patellofemoral compartment's okay. Your lateral compartment's not perfect, but with your age, you're way too young, too physically active to have a total knee replacement. Let me go share. That's where I saw that scuffed up cartilage along the edge of your patella. One of the weird things about a knee is that anything we can do to make your knee feel better anywhere helps. So if it's just doing a little bit of smoothing here, if it's cleaning up this lumpy part of this plica. What I want to do next is switch sides and take care of the meniscal tear. So I'm going to take the scope out, put it in the medial portal, and then put the scope in the medial portal. It'll give me the view that I would like of the meniscus. And then from the left-hand side, I can sneak in with a biter and work on that part of the meniscus that's really irritated. Can I have a biter? Can I have the flat one, straight flat? See those crystals that come out of there. I'm going to switch back, and then I'm going to use a shaver on that area. Regular. This part is the part that I don't like, this top part. So then I'm just going to spend a little time here, run a bunch of fluid through, and then I'll show you what we do with the cartilage damage or the bare bone area.